as everyone's coming, it's 9:30, we can get started. Cindy is not here today, but Julie will serve as secretary in her absence for today. The agenda, has everyone reviewed the agenda? Any questions or thoughts or anything? Are we okay? If there are no corrections, then a motion to approve it would be helpful.
A motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Moves to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thanks, Jeff. And are we all in favor? Yes, that's unanimous. Okay. So next is the approval of the July 8th Callahan House Advisory Board minutes. Has everyone reviewed those? Are there any questions or concerns that we need to address? And if not, then a motion to approve the minutes would be helpful.
I'll second it.
Okay, then I guess I move
I'm
to.
sorry. Yeah, the motion. I'm
Would
sorry.
be helpful. Do you want to move to approve the minutes?
Yes.
Thank
I'd
you,
like to move
Jeff.
to approve the
Is there a
minutes.
second?
I'll second.
All right, thanks, Angela. Are we all in favor? Yep, it's just little formalities, but yeah. Okay. All right, we will move along to, there is no one from the public here to speak with us, so we'll move beyond that item and into old business. Thank you. We have the digitized scrapbook, and Jeff, do you have an update to share at this point?
I have some information. I was out of town the last 2 weeks, so I don't know exactly what has gone on the last 2 weeks. No, we were down there approximately 2 weeks ago and continued on scanning the first book. I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to continue that scanning.
Cindy finished it on Monday.
So it is finished.
Mhm.
Okay.
And she has it. She took it with her, so we'll get it back from her
Okay. Very good.
whenever she's back.
Okay, great. So we're at a pause for that project until
Well,
next month?
we are at a pause on that particular book, but we still need to continue numbering the pages on the additional books.
Okay.
So I know we started book number 2. I'd like to, if we can set up a committee meeting later during this meeting in order to continue that process.
All right. We'll do
So the
that.
first one's done, is that what I heard?
The
It's
scanning is
scanned.
done. Yes.
Scanning is done,
Scanning's
okay.
done.
Yeah.
Do
So
that.
I'll work on processing that PDF and get it over to LPM to start making scripts. And then for the labeling, we kind of talked a few scan sessions ago. If committee members were interested in taking, just because I think if we only are setting like 1 or 2 committee meetings a month and working on it for a couple hours, all of the labeling needs to be done before we send those off. So we talked about maybe if people are interested in taking some of the books home and working on them on their own time,
Mhm.
I would be comfortable with that if committee members want to do that. So I wanted to see if there were further thoughts about that, just to help keep that rolling, because otherwise I think it's going to be a long time before those all get scanned. And we did reconnect with the vendor, and they're going to get them all in one, but they'll send us some samples to start, and then we can approve finishing it from there.
Mhm.
But they weren't.
Gonna take just the one.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously we needed to complete our work.
All
which
the
involved
labeling for all the
labeling.
books needs to be done before they're gonna start those scans. So I think just to keep it rolling, if anybody's interested in taking a book home and working on it individually, it doesn't mean committee meetings can't happen also, but just to keep that going, because
Is there
otherwise
16
it's gonna-
books? How many books are there?
there's
They
8
do
total,
have 8
including
total.
the
Okay.
Yeah.
first little one that
Already
already
got some.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
I think it's a very
labeled.
good idea to do that. I know we have been moving slow in scanning because we had a small window that we could
Yeah.
actually use the equipment. And also know that summer months everybody's pretty busy, so it's been
Yeah.
hard to schedule meetings that people be able to spend that type of time that's required
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, but I think anybody, again, you can still do committee meetings also and
Yeah.
bring books together, but anybody that's interested in taking one home and willing to work on it individually, I think that would be good thing to do?
I'd be willing to
Okay.
take a couple.
Thank you.
books home and label them.
Thank you.
I would too, but I'd need to know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we do another committee meeting to like make sure
Make sure
everybody
that-
is solid in the
Yeah,
process.
Sir
And I
Julie and Candy.
okay, and I guess we might need to get some more pencils. Also, how many are there? Two of each.
2 of each, yes.
Okay, so yeah, we might need to get some more supplies, but
Okay.
All right. We'll discuss that at our next meeting and come up with a
okay.
kind of
So
general
yeah, maybe have
outline.
another committee meeting, make
Yep.
sure everybody's good on it. In the meantime, I can get some more supplies and then go from there. Decide who wants to take what.
Right.
Okay.
I can't remember, do we have a deadline that we want to get all of these numbered by?
Well, originally we wanted to have
Last
the whole
year.
Yeah. So as soon as possible, you know,
Okay.
given the other commitments that we have, but I think that would help
And
keep
they
this moving.
are currently all at the museum.
They're all here, other than
Oh, they're
one
here.
that Cindy has. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So our next responsibility on the first book would be to respond to the alt-text needs.
yes, I need
Once
to
you-
process the
Right.
PDF and then I will get that to the committee for alt text. That's the next ongoing bit. So
And any idea when we should review those needs?
I'll try to get that done for whenever we set the next committee meeting for it. Shouldn't, I haven't done it in over a year now, but I don't think it should take too long. I'll just try to have it ready for the next meeting. So
Okay.
we'll see when that gets scheduled and I'll do my best to get it done before that and then that can be part of that too.
Okay,
At least
good.
getting started on it.
Okay.
Did you happen to get a site visit by the company so that they could look at the books and give a more accurate estimate of
So,
what they're gonna charge for this
They're not
service?
gonna come up before we're ready to send the books with them. But as we go through and label everything, we'll have a better page count than my estimate. And so at that point, like, they said their estimate is accurate if the page count is accurate. So once we have everything labeled, we'll know the page counts.
So it's about page count more than how there are several pages of information on one page.
Well, and that factors into the page count. So that'll be something like when we're going through and labeling, like for example, there's one that's got a pocket that just has a bunch of like brochures and booklets and things in it. So that'll be something that like, you know, we need to decide how much of that, if any of those kind of things get digitized. So via the labeling process, you know, as you're labeling, we also need to kind of take a full page count because some things are, you know, item 14, A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever. So getting an accurate page count of how many scans are actually taking place is going to be part of the labeling process so that we can get a more exact quote.
So they charge it by the page. So what do they charge per page?
Whatever he said, I don't remember, but the initial estimate based on my page count was 1,500, I think.
And your page count was?
I'd have to look back at the email, but we just need to get a more accurate page count to get a more accurate estimate. But
Yeah,
we
I'm
did
just
put
trying
in
to
the
put this into perspective with respect to the cost. And I know that, you know, we've already talked about it. We've already talked about, yeah, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and do this. It's a company that the museum has recommended. That's great. But are we writing a blank check here, or do we really know what's the cost of this project?
We will know a better estimate before we send the books off once we have a page count.
Okay.
So that will also be a helpful piece of information that we'll get from the labeling.
That's for all the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And at the last meeting, we discussed the appropriation of funds from our house fund.
Yeah.
Is that
That's
in the
already in the works. We should know, I think it's September 22nd or something like that. Council makes the final decision on that. And we did go ahead and put in for 2,500 in case we need more, but any of that money that doesn't get used can roll back into the house fund at the end of the year. So we put in for some extra.
Okay, good, thanks.
Is that everything for digitized scrapbook?
I think so.
Yes.
All right. All right, we'll move on to patrons at the Callahan House. I'm gonna give everyone a stack of these. As you probably well, probably no. The most recent thing I did was take the letter, and that's just board members, because essentially it's just board members.
just
Angela.
throw-
So,
yeah.
because basically what you're gonna do is there's 7. I'm giving you 7. And of the 7, and just so you know, actually, you can take one as well for me. I'm just, because the reality, thank you. Because the reality of it is this is kind of our last little easy, reach out to anyone we know, friends or family, businesses that you were thinking, oh, it'd be nice to include them. And this is a letter that goes across the board. It allows for businesses, organizations, individuals, and families. Along with the letter is the form, so that it makes it very easy, as you're just handing this to anyone, to let them have the paper form and be able to check off, what they would prefer, if they want to be an individual or family donor, or if they want to be a company or organization donor. I know the letter in here reads that in the last paragraph, become a patron by the 15th of August. However, I'm okay with, and if you are okay with, then I think it's all right to just go ahead and write over that. We're extending it to September 15th because that's the most recent information that we put out there to say, all right, please sign up by September 15th. That's going to be kind of our deadline for our final head count. So you can go ahead and just strike out the word August and write September on it, and as you're just handing these to people that you know.
Have we added any more patrons since a couple months ago?
Not that I'm aware of.
I think there was just that, whatever that last one was. I can't remember who it was now, but no, most of them came in April. Came through in April. We've had 1 or 2 trickle in since then, but.
But this universal letter will help for individuals, families, businesses, organizations across the board. It makes it very easy. And one last little attempt to get the word out. Let's see, I think one thing that we had talked about before was doing an advertisement in the Chamber of Commerce e-newsletter. They charge $20 and it is up to 500 characters and it can include links. And so what I did was put together this. Let me make sure I've got 1, 2, 3. Yep, I think I do. And goes down that way into Brittany as well. And that one is for you. So what this is that on the top it is a 477 character proposed advertisement for that Chamber of Commerce newsletter. And if this is acceptable to you all, then I'd like to recommend that we go ahead and spend the $20, submit this advertisement to the Chamber of Commerce for printing in their next earliest Wednesday e-newsletter. And with this, you'll see the word invitation on the very bottom line. Invitation is it's underlined, and you may not be able to see it very well. Invitation and donor form are underlined, and that's intended to be that those are links. So
That's nice.
My only question is linking the invitation
Mhm.
to the fall event
Uh-huh.
means it has to be a webpage.
No, it's not an
online?
invitation to the fall event. It's an invitation, it's a letter.
Okay,
We've got links to this.
so it's a letter.
So it's the letter, yes. Behind this little draft that's stapled to the front is the letter invitation. We invite you to partner with us as a patron. That's our invitation to them to partner with us as a patron. So that invitation would include this letter. And then I would also recommend, just so that it's super easy, the form which is also attached here. And you'll see that I modified it a bit just to make it more simplified, more streamlined. You choose the company or organization or individual family, so it's just more consolidated. And since we're opening up all of the tiers to everyone, they check which one they are, and then they check the tier they want. And if it's applicable as far as if they are a business or organization, if they're at a silver patron level or higher, then their logo gets included in the online acknowledgement, that kind of thing. So, but this letter and the form could be attached to the link that says invitation, and then the form itself can be attached just to donor form.
Do you know if
So
they
the
can do
donor form
links?
is essentially in
Okay,
two
okay.
places. One right behind the letter, so it makes it just easy if they go right to the invitation letter and they see that, and then they also have the donor form. It's easy. They don't have to click anywhere else. That's done. Or if they're like, well, I've read through this, and they click on the donor form, then it's there.
So the way that the website is set up is you go to the patrons page and you go through the process, fill out the form, and then it sends them to the online donation.
But this is an advertisement that we're going to put in an e-newsletter that's going to be links. And I
Right.
think given that this is a whole different type of,
So what we can
Approach.
do is link it to the patrons page where you start the form, and then on the donor form one, we can link it to the donation page. But there's not like a PDF of these forms on the website, because that's not how people go through that process. So I can link it to those two, areas, but it's not gonna go exactly to this form. That's just not how the
I
form
don't
is
think-
set up on the
Yeah,
website.
but I don't think Karen is asking to go to the website at all.
right.
I
And
think
where
like
do these live?
if you're on your
they're
phone
It's a
reading the
PDF.
newsletter and you click on it, then the PDF comes up and
Yes.
you either print it or email it to
Yes.
yourself or something
Where
like
does the
that.
PDF live?
I
If it's a
can,
link, it has to be hosted online.
Not if it's a PDF.
it's just a document that you.
If you're like,
provide
click
the
here to
link
find the form for your next iVisit.
Where
You know
does
what I
where
mean?
does that get hosted from?
Well,
Yeah,
I think you send this, check with Pat because I really don't know, but you send the advertisement to the Chamber of Commerce.
With the two
With-
PDFs.
Yeah, and it just, and the links to the PDFs.
And they
that-
link it?
I don't know, so that's the part that
That's why I
I'm
wasn't
not
sure what
aware
you could
of.
do with
But
links.
that is exactly what I'm trying for because.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it's simple,
I
it's
just didn't know if they could do
clean,
that.
it's easy and neat.
I mean, depends if they can host the link somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I would-
PDF has to live online somewhere for it to be found via a link. And
Well-
it's not on our website like this. So I guess if that's something they can do for us,
Can you check?
but
I would say that the cleanest way to link is directly to that patrons page
Okay.
and completely skip the form altogether because you host exactly what they need to sign up as a patron
Yeah.
on the website. So I think creating a PDF, it may be an additional step that maybe we don't need.
So the letter is different than what we have on the website. It needs to
yeah,
be
but
this
it
letter.
goes to the site and then people can click organization or individual. I think if
I
we're
know, but
linking the
then-
PDF, we're asking
They're not
people to then
information.
either print it out or mail it or email it. But if they can just go through the
Is the-
link directly online,
Is there a
so
way
they
to
could do it from their phone. If we link the PDF, we're negating that.
Is there a way to temporarily change the entry page for the patrons?
We could change the letter
So it
online to just be
reads-
the combined letter instead
Yeah.
of the two separate ones. And then maybe add an option for individual or, because there's some that we've gotten that they were reached out to as an organization but just wanted to donate as an individual, or vice versa, so.
And then it would read exactly how you want it. So it would be temporary welcome page for potential patrons. It would read it would display everything that you have on the PDF, and then it's easy and clickable, and they can fill out their information and pay.
That way somebody can do it right from their phone or.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Most people are looking at these things via their phone, and adding a PDF element might be a little bit clunky.
However, it's most functional, but this is the right letter, and this
Okay.
is the right form. So whatever, it's different.
I realize that, but all of the information is still on the website the same way. So the question then is, do we want to change the letter on the website to just be one combined letter, or do you want
Yes.
the two individual? Okay, then the form needs to change so that they have an option to select. No, it's
And
there.
that's what this is.
Okay, so then we're just gonna use one letter moving forward.
Yes.
Okay.
Where is the letter on this page? When you're
So
saying letter.
that's what I'm saying is it's not exactly, so then you go and you choose one of these and then it gives you the letter.
Was this
But
ever
we can
run
just
through
legal.
not legal, but our
Ian helps me set it up.
what is the phrase? Like I'm losing it. The reading level being at
ABA or
it's our
8th grade reading
yes
level.
or what? Oh, why am I
Plain language.
plain language? That is the word I'm looking for because I think that most things that are this on our website that are like this are supposed to be in plain language. I just didn't know if we had run it through that
I don't think so.
software.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can tell by some of the stuff that's on
Okay.
here that it's not. Okay, so if that's how you want it set up, then the option is instead of the two flags on the website for click organization or individual, then it just needs to be one. But that's gonna take time because I have to have Ian help me with that and it takes time. So, or we can leave it how it is and it directs them to that main patrons page and they pick one of the two letters how they were previously written.
I think we need to go to the one letter.
Okay,
And
it's gonna
go
take
with
some
the
time.
form. Because I think that is probably the way that it's going to work most effectively going forward.
So then when you first go to the Patrons of the Callahan House link, it's going to start with the letter?
Let me see.
Or would you still have that?
Yeah, I mean, we could get rid of the two flags and it's just the letter right there, and then there's like the donate flag.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could just get rid of
Okay,
both of those,
okay.
and I'll just change that.
Okay.
And then I just need to have him
You can just more or less
change where the form lives. Yeah, maybe I can just delete those. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
And it would be worth a phone call to Kat just to ask her if that's something that, I know if you're talking about somebody using their phone and doing that via their phone, but if that's not the case, or if it is a possibility, it's just
I mean,
something
it still
to.
takes them to the information that says like that the form can be sent to somebody if they want to mail it.
Mhm.
So I think we just need to keep things updated and modern and as easy as possible for people to donate.
Yeah, and that's why this is a more streamlined way of doing that, so that's why the change for the letter and the form.
Karen, how often does that newsletter go out to the chamber?
Every 2 weeks.
Okay, and is it $20 every time?
Apparently.
Well, we're gonna do.
I think we're
assume
only doing
one
this time.
times.
Okay.
Like a-
For
yeah,
now.
we're gonna do like a one-time submission.
So is everyone okay with the drafted advertisement? The language? Because here's your audience. It's the Chamber of Commerce members. So I think, is it readable? Is it understandable? Is it simple? All of the members of the Chamber of Commerce will be receiving this in an e-newsletter. Which I think is quite helpful.
I think it's concise and informational.
Does it get the job done?
Are you going to change that last sentence? because if we're not linking the two different pieces of information, would you modify your last sentence, or would you just make one of them a link?
I mean, we can, yeah, because it's,
I
Just
can-
say, please, we encourage you to visit our website
Yeah,
to learn more
patrons
and
webpage.
to donate, something like that. Because
yeah.
then you're also bringing them to the house page, which then expands to
Mhm.
what else you do and what
Mhm.
else someone could do here. And instead of,
Meetings.
yeah,
Yeah.
that exposure's a little higher at the website level.
Yeah, I would say, like, please visit the Patrons of the Callahan House webpage to learn more and donate. Those are the calls to action. Does that work?
However it's most efficient. Let's just get it done. Because anyway, it's one thing that if nothing more, it will be a reminder for some who may have received the letter, and definitely will be news to those who haven't, because as we might, I guess let's go through some numbers. So when we pulled together all the members from the Chamber of Commerce, we had a total of 281 that we actually had that we had information so that we could send letters. It was a name and an address. Sometimes we had a phone number. But of those, only there were on top of that, there was another 126 companies that were listed with the chamber, and we didn't have enough information to include them in mail or email. And so there's a whole other 126 members of the chamber that have not received any information about the patrons. And then backtracking to the letters that were sent, of that 281 letters, we only had 142 of those companies' email addresses. So only 142 of those were emailed as a follow-up. And then of which 26 of those bounced, so they were incorrect emails. And basically I think that there were a total of confirmed open emails were 52 out of the 142 emails sent. So it's a third, so 2/3 of the intended recipients did not receive the communication. So this is just the way that we can probably best reach all of the Chamber of Commerce members and give them an easy opportunity. Again, it's about convenience. We need to make it a very easy process for them to quickly read and become a patron if they so choose. So however we can make that happen, that's the plan. Is everyone okay with this, and then whatever you need to change at the end to make it work or function? Will that be okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And again, please make an effort to get these. I just gave everyone 7, so I wasn't asking much of everyone. Just get those out to people you know, and see if we can add more patrons to our group for this year. Let's see, we will go ahead and set our next committee meeting later in this agenda. So we'll move on to restoration and preservation. Brittany, do you have some updates?
Yeah, the projects in play right now are the fountain and the sconce. They finished the sconce and they're gonna bring it back next Friday to reinstall.
Good.
So hopefully it stays fixed. And then the fountain, purchasing has started another round of trying to get bids for that. I heard back from Pam earlier this week, so those are being sent out again, so hopefully we'll get some more bids. I think if we don't by, I don't know, maybe September, then we might need to think about moving forward with the one that we have, because the fountain is very in need. So yeah, which the one that was on file was the 20,000 from our citywide award vendor, so we don't have to technically have another bid to move forward with it if we just wanted to make sure that it made sense, but it needs done
Do you
this fall. So
do you need some support with finding somebody who could repair?
if you, and for any like restoration or preservation projects, if board members know people or want to do some research, you're very encouraged and that's appreciated. What their specific, the problem is for most projects around here, finding anybody that does the thing for one is interesting, and a historic fountain isn't a very common project. But what they're doing is there's some resurfacing and resealing of the actual cement that needs done because it's leaking, and then there's some plumbing work underneath. So I don't know. The other thing is they have to have a I'm losing the actual name of it, but there's a special certification and safety procedures and equipment that they need to have to enter the space underneath. So I can send you some more information, some better details, but it's a pretty specific job. So, but luckily we got at least one person to bid on it, I guess. So
And what's the time frame of
I would like
when to do it?
Yeah,
like
so we're
seasonally wise.
waiting for after weddings to be done, so I would like for it to be done like in October if we could. Maybe
Before it
early
snows.
November at the latest, yeah, and if not, then we're looking at bless you at the spring. But I would really like for it to get done this fall.
So this
'Cause it's only
fountain,
gonna get worse in the wintertime.
this fountain's been repaired before. So did you find that group that did it before?
No, I think I would have to have more specifics on exactly when that was done to look back through, purchase statements and things like that. So,
Do you know
do
what
you
year
know if it
it
was done like while Kathy was here or while?
I would say
Leslie
back
was
when
here.
Leslie was here.
Yeah, if she happens to know off the top of her head, like a month at least of when it was done, I could do some digging. But just going back for some time in the last, I don't even know, 10 to 20 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, records have changed
Yeah.
a bit.
So yeah, those are the two main things that are the focus right now. But I'll send you some more details about that. I can send those out to everybody, but in case anybody wants to do some digging. But purchasing has been putting that out through, they use BidNet online to get companies to bid on that stuff. But anyway, that's I think all I have for that for now.
Oh. So then for the formal garden plan, we have a meeting with Sheila and Scott scheduled for this Friday, right? I mean, you've got that.
Yeah, and that's an online meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is to review their proposed plans and costs. And I do have some drafted language to include in that one page letter of intent that all of that has to go on.
For the grant?
So yeah,
Okay.
to complement it, because they have some specific things that they're looking to know about the project. So along with that, we'll have to get that done and submitted before the end of this month. I think the deadline is the 30th. So this Friday, hopefully we'll be able to review those, get that in the letter of intent, and then know how much space we have to put just the other supporting information about the house and the property. Because they're really strict about the one page. If it's over a page, it's denied. They reject it.
Okay. Who's the grant?
It's
From?
Colorado Garden Foundation. And so that's who we're submitting this letter of intent for, and our hope, they do a maximum grant of $15,000. And I would like to, I think we've already talked about this, but our hope would be to request that full amount. So I anticipate that the costs are gonna probably meet or exceed that at least. And of course, the grant is really just for materials. It's not for labor, but the city has a budget for the labor part.
Well, a budget request.
Budget request.
Do we know if there's a time frame in which the work has to be done with this grant money?
We don't have that
Okay.
information yet.
Okay, but there could be a deadline.
I imagine that as soon as we've got the letter of intent in and they've accepted that, then the next steps they'll provide to us, and we'll have more structure to follow.
Okay.
So anyway, that you won't really have the opportunity, except I guess if we were to email it out to everyone just for your information before the end of this month, to look at it. Does anyone have any concern, or do you have a preference? Do you want it emailed to you? And it may be pretty static. In other words, it may be more of the information is in there, is really not modifiable, and so it's just more for your information, to know in advance of the submitting the letter of intent. Do you want an email of that, or I don't imagine we want yet another committee meeting for something like that, but
So you're referring to the actual grant
the letter of intent
of
that
intent?
we have to file with the Colorado Garden Foundation
Okay.
by August 30th. It's a one page. Would it be acceptable if we just send it out to you on email and say, here's what we've come up with? This is based on CSU Extension's drafts and costs and the city's understanding and part of the costs, and then just a little bit of Callahan House information that of course is always pulled from the information we have about the house to support it. But
In the letter, I'm just looking it up right now, it says, in the letter, applicants must include how the Colorado Garden Foundation will be recognized. Is that
Yeah.
in there? What, sorry?
it will be, because it's similar to how History Colorado was in our grant, our large grant from them. They wanted to know how they would be acknowledged or recognized. And so the same kind of information, I'm going to use exactly what I put in that grant for History Colorado, the same kind of acknowledgement for Colorado Garden Foundation, because it was approved through the city to do what we did that way. I think it aligns with what the city accepts, so we'll definitely be covering that.
Okay.
How do we acknowledge organizations such as that?
Well, some want, it will be dependent on what their expectations might be. Some want inclusion of a sign. Some want inclusion of that information in something that we publish, or information about the house that we provide to our guests. And we could very well include it in an upcoming open house event. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can acknowledge and yes, include.
Do we have any guidelines or restrictions on things such as signage that would identify a group's participation and donation?
Well, there are guidelines on signage in public buildings, but I don't think that would be problematic, but we could
Yeah.
find out. I think it's like political
No,
signage and
no. And
personal things
yeah.
like that, but otherwise I think we should be all right.
I think it's preferable.
I think there
not.
was a sign for
There
the,
was.
yeah,
Yeah,
for the
and
last
it was in
project that
front
History
window.
Colorado did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should be okay.
And History Colorado provided that sign. It's not something we create or anything like that, but we agreed to post it. So
Do we submit a specific plan and request along with this letter of intent? Or is it just a written description of what we are requesting?
this is just a one-page letter of intent with brief description of what we're doing, who it serves, and who's involved. And then from there, it'll get more, after the letter of intent is accepted, then we'll get more guidelines and as far as how the grant application needs to be completed.
Right. So this letter of intent is just the first step in
It
the
is.
process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know when the actual grant deadline is, or we don't
Don't
know
have
that
that
yet
yet.
either? Okay.
It says that it's due by the 30th.
Yeah.
Selected applicants will be requested to submit complete details by September 30th. Grants are selected by early December with distribution of funds by December 31st.
Yeah, that's right.
But it doesn't say to be used in 2027.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't give,
I'm just concerned if the parks budget doesn't get approved, then how we find the money for the.
well, you're gonna know about the parks
actual-
budget by the end of this month. Budget is,
So we'll be requesting a specific amount of money,
Yes.
and that's going to be based on the
The,
estimated cost proposal we're receiving from Scott and Sheila.
yeah, and approved with the city, yes. So it's going to be what Scott and Sheila created, and then what the city also agrees, yes, that
Okay.
are you still
amount
talking
is-
about recognition?
No, the amount.
but how much we'll be requesting?
It sounded
The
like
full
Karen
amount of the
would like to
grant.
request the full amount, and then
What's
if they
this?
award us half, then they award us half.
Right.
Or,
So
or
we're,
whatever.
right. So we're presuming that their cost estimate from Scott and Sheila is going to exceed $15,000.
I would expect it
Right.
to.
So we're going to request $15,000.
As long as what they have put together is at or greater than
Exceeds that.
15,000 in costs, and that's just
Material costs.
materials. Then
Okay.
yes, I see no reason why not to ask
No,
for
just
full.
going to clarify what we're asking
Yeah.
and if we can support
Yeah.
that amount.
Well, the biggest support on our part, I think, is do we have the funding in the budget to as needed, but that is more related to labor, right?
The budget request from Parks.
Yeah.
I just don't know anything until the end of August when the proposed budget is put out.
But that is just for contract
Just
work.
labor.
Yeah, is what they.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bargained for.
So, all right, after we have a letter of intent complete, we'll email that to everyone just as a FYI so you can read it. Won't necessarily be modifiable at that point, but it's just more to keep you informed. Okay. All right. And then we'll move, that covers that, right, Brittany? You don't have anything more to,
Mhm.
okay. The room by room tour book and the QR code tours.
Right. On the tour book, we completed our electronic form after our last meeting, and I believe you had communicated with the printer with some samples and
Yeah, we've
costing
got,
and things.
yeah, we got samples for the tour booklet, so we can look at those. And then as far as an update for the QR code tour, I've reached out twice. I haven't heard back yet from the folks that I need help with to get that posted, so we'll keep trying. But as soon as I just need them to like create the page and link it, because I can't do that portion, but then once that's there, I can put in all the content and everything, so I will keep pushing, but sometimes that's how it goes with,
Okay.
yeah, with that. But for the booklet, so I've got pricing and some samples. So what we have here is the two different bindings that we were considering. One that's just, and I'll pass these around, but one that's just like a staple down the middle type binding. And then this one is called Perfect Bound, and it's more of like a pressed, this is a more sort of finished material, but he was able to just run this through really quick because they had their machine going yesterday, but so this kind of like pressed binding. So these are the options that we are looking at, that were, when Jeff and I went and visited the printer, they were kind of recommended for our purposes. They talked about the spiral binding being more of like a reference guide type of a situation, but for something for sale. So my thought for a more elevated offering would be the pressed binding, but so these are the two options, and then he did bind both of these for us. The only thing that and it's formatted. The only thing they didn't do is you'll notice on the cover of some of these, it's not like centered yet, but he said they can. I asked about that, and he said that they could do that. I asked about it before they did the samples, but didn't happen. But but they will make sure that those are correct. And then the other thing to consider is like a matte finish like this, which both of these are done in a matte finish, so you can see what that looks like, or a gloss finish, which again I think elevates it a little more. And then I've got some pricing here, which I'll go over as I pass all of this around.
Right. So we have two binding choices. One's a staple.
Those were the two like recommended, yeah. So yeah, those were
What was the name of this other type of binding?
Perfect binding is the like press binding, and then saddle bound is the staple.
Okay.
So you can see the two bindings, and you can see the two cover types, although these are both in matte, but of the other samples they gave us, you can see both. So in terms of cost per book, he gave me pricing for 50 books and for 100. I think 50 is plenty to start. So it's $4.12 for the staple bound, and it's $6.42 for the perfect bound. Whether it's a matte finish or a gloss finish doesn't change that pricing. The printing is all the same pricing. It's really just the binding that is the difference. And he did give us a discount, which is nice. So that pricing includes the discount that he was able to offer. Total, if we were to do the like perfect bound, would be $320-ish, $321.
That's for 50.
That's for 50 of the perfect bound, the press binding.
Who did you take this to?
Minuteman Press, that's the city's printing vendor for this kind of thing. Excuse me. So, you know, I think we had a different vision of what this might look like to sell it for 15. I think something more like, if it's $6.42 a book, maybe something more like $12 or so, $10 to $12 I think would be appropriate for something like this. But that's my thought. So I guess see what I'm pretty adamantly opposed to the staple binding personally. I just think that's not an item for sale in my opinion. But I
Maybe
have
for
a lot of
five-
experience
maybe
with
for
branded
$5.
merchandising,
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe for $5 or less. But I think, you know, if we're putting the effort into this, we should elevate it as much as is appropriate for what the options are and what it is.
And
So.
the covers, the material for the cover.
Yeah, I would go for the like gloss press bound cover, but
Is that like
it's up
this?
to y'all. That would be like the black one, yeah.
With this? Okay. So what would the difference be between the two as far as just visual?
Just
It's a little more shiny and
yeah, just it's really just like the material and the feel of it. It would
Make
be
it more feel like a cover rather than just another page of the book.
yeah, and something that like was done by a printer and that we couldn't have just done
Done it
in house
in your office
ourselves.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
and so is that additional cost?
No, the
No.
gloss
It's
cover
not.
versus the matte cover is
Oh,
no,
okay.
there's no change in
Okay.
cost. So
Yeah.
Oh, so we could do this one with the gloss cover.
and it's the same price.
Oh,
The binding is the only thing that changes the fee.
Yeah,
kind of a no-brainer.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we've talked about the staple bonding in the past, which I think is appropriate and adequate. But after seeing this binding and also seeing just stuff in our house magazines, other books that have this type of bonding, it's really far superior, I think, just in
It feels like a
quality.
more
Oh,
finished
definitely.
product. Yeah.
The other looks like a yearbook that a club is hand created.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't, I know this was a specific request for printing, but they didn't print it the way, with the instructions.
Oh, that did. Okay, I did send them. I literally forwarded them your email. So
Yeah, no, they didn't. So,
okay.
So there's
it'll
some
be
tweaking
something
that
that we
needs
would
to be
need to
done.
make sure
Yeah.
that we're talking with them more about before
Okay.
they would actually make a run of stuff.
Okay, I'll go back over it. I just picked these up last night on
Yeah.
the way home, so I didn't have a chance to go through it and
Yeah.
make sure it was, had those specifics, but.
As far as costing, obviously we need to cover our cost.
In terms of our,
For selling,
Our price?
price, obviously we need
Yeah.
to basically cover our cost.
well,
I don't-
we would hope to make.
Oh, I don't anticipate it being a big fundraiser.
No, but
Nor- I'm not
I
sure if we-
think if we're paying $6.42 a book, I mean, ideally you wanna, do about 50%, so I think
Yeah.
$10 to $12 would be appropriate. I don't think more than $12
Right.
or something like that, but.
If you
Right.
charge
maybe
12, you have to
$10.
sell $26 to make the money back.
Yeah. Yeah, like about half.
So I guess my reaction, that maybe $10 might be a more appropriate price in order to sell hopefully a few more books
Mhm.
than let's say $12.
Yeah, I think 10 is fine.
Yeah.
And it's a nice,
Easy.
somebody has cash,
Right.
maybe a little easier,
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 10 is fine for this. Yeah, this is.
Is
I'm
that-
glad he was able to print both samples, so
Mhm.
Very good.
see that, but as long as there was some tweaking done with the
Mhm.
format.
So we need to sit down, I guess, among ourselves and look at each page with the formatting, sizes and things, and then meet with him with specific direction on.
Well, we provided, I don't think so, because we provided that direction,
instruction,
so.
they just didn't
I'm just,
follow.
we just didn't follow, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
ask him, I will send the specifics again and see if, maybe we
mean-
can get one more sample before we move forward.
That's a good
But
idea.
this is, like,
Okay.
this is what we wanna do, but these are the things that were
Okay,
missed,
so
and
request
we
more
need to
sample
like
with the
see one more,
specifics.
yeah. And I think, if,
And you could see the cost, maybe you could do the cost, even if you paid for it.
maybe, I don't know if we need to, but, and then I think if everybody's comfortable with it, I can just go, or if you wanna come as well, Jeff, and just
Okay.
double check those details before they move forward with a full run.
I think that's a good idea. I would like to be part of that too, because
Yeah.
I have a hand in that.
Cool,
Good. I'm glad that it all came within the price point that we were originally
Yeah.
looking at.
yeah. Okay, I think that's everything for that for now.
Okay.
And thank you for
Sure.
coordinating this with
Yeah.
the printer.
Yeah.
What is their turnaround time for printing? Just if you happen to know.
For 50 books, I don't know. They did this pretty quickly, but I think it just depends on their workload. We could probably have stuff by Art Walk if that's what we're after.
I think that would be the plan.
Yeah.
We can make that the goal. That would
Yeah,
be
I think that's doable.
ideal. Okay. All right. Then we'll wait to hear from you as far as when you'll get in touch with them, and then we'll have a quick.
Yeah, I mean, I have a
with
note
them.
to follow up with them
Okay.
today, and then
Okay. Oh,
see if they can do one more
okay.
sample.
All right. But I think that, so are we in agreement? We like the perfect binding, right? That
Yes.
pressed. Okay, so I think, are we all in agreement that we like the perfect binding? However the terminology is, whatever the technical jargon is, the perfect binding and the,
Gloss cover.
do you
Yeah.
want a glossy cover? It's still black and white, obviously.
Yeah.
But
One thing
do
he
you
said
want
is
a
that
glossy cover?
just the outside, like this and this are gloss. The inside of this cover is not,
It's
as an
not.
FYI, but I don't think that matters.
That's fine. I think it gives it that elevation it needs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all in agreement with those specific things? Okay, great. All right. Then, let's see, we'll go ahead and move on to the event committee updates. And so the first one is Art Walk. And, I think we are pretty well set for Art of Rock, actually. Brittany did go ahead and get the final email out to the artists on August 6th. And so now they have the details of when they're supposed to show up and where, and just the things they need to know. So that's all good. We did have one artist who had to bow out, but that's okay. And then we had a second artist who hadn't reached out to Brittany until recently, but has been an artist with us for prior years. And so we've added that one. And then another one just recently had to back out, but that's okay too. We still have really good balance and of mediums throughout the garden and throughout the house, and the openings provide just a little bit more room to move, especially here in the house on the main floor, and then also out in the garden. And I'm thinking that we'll probably be including the CSU extension in the garden, just as a way of sharing and showing things that are going to be happening with the garden or proposed projects for the garden. It's art in itself, so we're really pretty well set for artists. So at this point, unless you find an artist that is like absolutely fabulous and we must have that artist here, we're good. But if you've got somebody in mind, please reach out. Don't promise anything to anyone, but reach out to Cindy and myself and Brittany just to share with us who it is, what their medium is, and their contact information, and then we can go ahead and consider including them. So, but at this point, otherwise we're really well set. I think board members need to plan to be at the house for the event. The event is from 4 to 8 p.m. and I would just ask that you be here at 3:45. I will be here early.
Artists are coming at 3.
Yeah, I will be here early. I'll be here for that. That's going to go smoothly. I think Cindy will probably be here all set. We don't need all the board members here that extended amount of time. It will work just fine.
I mean, 1 or 2 people, maybe not, but artists are going to be setting up here at 3. We're going to be setting up over there at 3, so we need at least a couple people here and somebody over there. So if you want to give a couple people time to come in late, but we need.
I'm going to come earlier.
Like last year, we did 1 board member and 1 staff member over on Main Street at the booth,
Right.
and then. I mean, the more people that are here to get artists to their locations and get people checked in, the better. But
So you'd like us all here at 3?
well, I'll leave that up to the committee if you want to give some people the leeway. But
I know how long a day it is, so I think I'm going to leave that kind of to each board member's schedule. If you're here
I'm
at 3,
I'm free all day.
great. If you're here, and really you don't need to be here earlier than 3. 3 is fine. I will be here early enough to help.
3
get
is when
things
artists
going.
start arriving,
Right.
and they also tend to arrive early, even though we've asked them not to do that, but they've done that pretty much every year. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
And
I mean.
how late would you say we need to stay?
Well, the event goes till 8, and then
Yeah.
typically it's just like board members help with a few minutes of cleanup, and then Erica and I will. Is it Erica or Betsy? Anyway, whoever's working on it will help finish
Mhm.
most of that. But it's usually a little after 8:15 maybe. But again, if you need to leave early, if you need to come late, that's fine. But we just need to make sure we have somebody designated to help whoever the staff member is with the booth.
Well,
And then
that may be
people over
limited.
here.
It may depend on the number of board members we have. We may not have enough people to have a board member over on Main Street. So
Well,
it may
then I
just
need
be a
to know
staff
that as
person.
soon as possible, so that we have an extra staff person, because we need 1 staff person here and 1 staff person over there.
Mhm.
So I was just going based on what was in the sheet and what we did last year.
You're not selling anything on Main Street, right? Or are you gonna do the
No.
exact same thing you did last year?
I think last year they didn't sell much.
No,
We
did
sold
not
one
sell.
Or did they sell it
postcard.
mostly over there and not here?
No, we
Or
didn't
was it
sell
vice
anything
versa?
on
No,
Okay.
not selling.
Was it rainy last year?
It was
Yeah, it was
raining.
raining.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
No.
I mean, people came out, but they didn't. Not a lot of people came by the Callahan one because
We didn't
we didn't have a whole stand of like artwork or craft, like
Right.
things, like tangible items. They really had to come over and then mostly what we were doing is just directing them to the house. It was like a point place to be like, hey, you can go see
Exactly.
the house. There's
Mhm.
more going on. It's right up the street. So like it was super helpful, but yeah, we sold one postcard. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
So that's why I see it, that's really, it's fine to staff it with just one staff member. And then
Well, we
they're
need two people
basically
to set up the
pointing.
tent at
Oh.
least. So there needs to be 2 people over there. I mean, somebody can't sit there for 4 hours and not use the bathroom potentially. So, or at least send somebody over for a reprieve, and somebody has to help us set up and clean up.
Well, is
One
that,
person
are
can't
all
do
the
it
board
on their
members
own.
planning on being at the event? I mean, how many do you need stationed in the house? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
typically
right
everybody,
now,
it's all hands on deck.
well, normally, yes. But right now, what we've got is one board member at the front gate, and that is if we go ahead and close off the south gate. So the west
Yeah,
gate would be the only
Definitely need
entrance
to do
and
one
exit.
entrance so we can do.
So there's one
Count.
board member there, there's a board member at the patrons table, there's a board member upstairs, there's a board member on this floor, and there's a board member in the auto house and garden kind of floating. So we're kind of capped.
Well, that's 5 out of
At
6.
our-
Is somebody?
And actually,
Maybe
there's
not.
going to be 2 people in the main level of the house. One would be kind of center in the music room, and the other would be at the front door. And so, and among us, we're going to be rotating our spaces here on the property, within the house and out in the garden, so that nobody's stuck in any one thing all day long. We're running pretty thin, so I
Well, that's
think
5
at this
people at the
point-
house, and then
No.
one more.
Oh, she added one more to the house.
Yeah.
She added 6.
So
We've
the
got-
question, would you like me to reach out to former board members again to be in the house, just to be present in the house and
If
keep
you'd
an eye
like,
on
that
things?
would help, and see if we have anyone who's interested in helping. And if they're able to be here what amount of time they're able to, that would be helpful.
Okay, I'll reach out and there's at least 4 or 5 I can reach out to. Okay.
Yeah. And I guess it'll depend on that, but right now, unless we have additional former board members, we just can't be out on Main Street, so we're stretching ourselves too thin that way.
How many of us were there last year?
2. There was one
Brittany
staff
wasn't
and
here.
one board.
I was here.
Because we were even thinner last year, weren't we?
Well, no, you
Well,
had 2 staff
You
assigned
had 2
because it
staff
was
members. Yeah,
Bet-
Betsy.
Betsy was selling
And-
stuff up front,
Yeah.
and then
So that was
You
the
were
plan this
downstairs.
year. Is
I was on Main Street
Yeah,
pretty much the whole time.
you were over there?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, we
Because
need
we
at
swapped
least
out a
2
board
staff.
member with.
we took some
One
turns.
minute.
Yeah, because it is we wanted the board members to see the house, especially for you guys who are new, to see what art walk, so you didn't just get the perspective of Main Street. And it was cold and rainy. So
Yeah.
I did like.
But last year was the
push-ups.
first year we did that with
Yeah.
Main
Yeah,
Street.
yeah. So the thought that's coming to my mind is if we're thin on board members,
Maybe we don't do it.
I don't know.
If the staff can't sit there, I mean, and like you said, they're not really coming and spending a whole lot, people are not really spending a whole lot of time at the table, and you're actually just more of a point person to say, hey, go around to the house, and making them aware that there is a place to go to see the Callahan
'Cause-
house. And then whatever other marketing materials you're sharing about the Callahan house during Art Walk, that's a good thing for a staff member to hold the fort down for that. It seems a simple enough kind of thing, and they don't have to be chained to the table the whole day. But it's just more of a, if we're going to have that presence on Main Street, at this point, it just needs to be one staff member, and the board members need to be on site.
Well, then that's fine. But we still need somebody to help them set up and clean up, and maybe give them a break.
Well, last year we did that.
I'd be
Jess
willing to
helped.
do
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna be here at 3, so I'll help set up, come back over here, and then maybe go over there halfway and relieve you for a little bit if
think-
needed.
Yeah, I think it's whoever, I can't remember if that's your Erica, but anyhow, I was planning
I will
on
be
being
here
here
at
at the house.
some point.
but-
My son has soccer games and I don't know what time they are quite yet, so.
Yeah,
You guys
I
wanna
think
go
if
soccer
we're
game?
gonna, maybe not, one of us isn't there the whole time, but at least help out in
Okay.
case.
I think we did 2 hour
Probably.
shifts for the person on Main Street last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Cause that's a
And then
long
the
time
staff
to be
person
the only.
being the
Yeah, or I can
check-in
just, I
person.
can switch them halfway. But we'll just need help with setup. I think we need to have one staff person here, you know, from 3 to 9 or whatever, but,
Mhm.
so.
Do you have the canopy here and it needs to be carried to Main Street?
No, it's over at,
It will be here though, like I brought it here last
You
year
brought
and
it
then we
here
used a
first.
wagon to haul it down to Main Street.
Okay.
Yeah. We did
So
this
we
like
could-
zigzaggy
yeah.
path through the back. I remember it was a shortcut. Set it up and the wagon I think stayed over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
that's
that.
nice.
Okay, I'm gonna be here at 2:45. I'll help set that up and then come back over here.
Well, also what time will they let people set up on Main Street?
I think
That's
it's
another.
3, it's 3 o'clock also.
So again, I don't think you need to be here any sooner than 3. It takes
Okay.
5 minutes to put that up and the table. Like, it did not.
Do we
We
take
did it in the
ta-
pouring rain last year. We can do it in nice weather.
Yeah, we have a folding table.
do we take tables down there ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it all fit, but it was a little table that again fit in the wagon.
fit in the
like
wagon.
everything fit in the
Okay.
wagon.
Right. How about those banners we have?
That also fit in the wagon, even
We'll
though
have those
didn't,
down there.
we didn't get it up because it was the
They
pokey one.
didn't
and we
have the, they didn't give us the stand for it, but I have it now. Like it didn't come with
Okay.
the shipment.
we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it didn't
Yeah.
work. Okay. Are we questioning wanting to have the booth at all, or we're good to have the booth?
Do you have opinion how effective it was? to
Again, I
direct
think it
people
helped
here?
because
people.
it
Yeah.
pointed people to the house.
Right.
So I do think that it's a even as a wayfinding point. I don't know if they're putting you in the same space
Yeah, I don't know if we know.
because that was it's helpful if you're like within
It's
this
right
line
there.
of sight and not like all, at either end of the boot,
Mhm.
you know, the main street.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think people just like to get out and go to those things regardless of they're there to buy something or just to enjoy being out in downtown, especially people coming out last year in the weather. So I did think it was really helpful to point people towards the house who have never heard of it or seen it. And we said there's music and things to buy here. So I felt like it was helpful just to point people.
Okay.
We already paid for it
Direction.
this year, so we should probably use it, and we could.
Yeah,
We could always revisit it
We'll
next
make
year,
it work.
but-
I think we'll make it work.
Do we need an additional house staff besides myself and one other then? Or
If
it
that's what
depends
makes
on
you feel comfortable, then
volunteers.
maybe plan for that. I don't know that we can
Well,
guarantee a
I had 2
volunteer.
people and then we didn't, we asked to call one off for cost of putting this on.
Mhm.
That was what we talked about earlier in the year, so, I think if we have one staff over here and one staff over there and we can have set up and clean up help and 5 to 6 board members and maybe some volunteers, I think we're okay.
Yeah, okay.
And I can switch with that person halfway. Okay. The other piece about that, so in the past, for I don't know, however many years, at least as long as I've been here, we paid the $300 like sponsorship fee to also be included for the booth, for the sponsorship also includes us in the marketing for the event. And that always included being listed on the map so that people would see like that this location is also, you know, kind of part of the event. So I did that this year, same as we've done every year, and then got an email back from Firehouse that said that if we want to be included on the map, that we need to pay $200 more.
Oh,
Wow.
So apparently this is apparently this is how it was supposed to be for the last several years, and there was like some oversight.
Or lack there.
Yeah. So I don't know that we want to pay $200 more to be included on the map. I am kind of the mind that maybe we see how it goes, and if it seems like it really affects our attendance, then we can do the bigger sponsorship next year. But this event is already, you know,
The
this is
300
not a fundraising event, so yeah, like we already paid $300.
And that was for the table.
That's for, and there is some marketing involved with that, I think, on their socials, but it doesn't have us, and it has us listed as a sponsor, you know, digitally, but like it doesn't get us on the their map of the event, which we've always been listed on in the past for the same price. So that's a bummer.
Yeah. So this map is something that is handed to
It's
people,
yeah, there's a
something that's
digital
posted?
version, I think, ahead of time, and then also it's available at the event. So it showed that like here's like sort of an offshoot location that you can come see more artwork, and Callahan House is a sponsor of the event. But now for the 300, it's just I think being listed in socials as a sponsor and the booth.
So I wonder if the map will be the same map that they've always used, that our location is actually on that map.
It's just not
But they're not
tagged.
going to
That's
highlight
a
it.
good question. I don't know. I sort of feel like we should, in the past, we usually get about 400 people to come to Callahan House. I sort of feel like we should keep it how it is this year and see how it goes. And maybe next year we aren't a sponsor at all. I don't know. I mean, that's $300 then that we're not spending on this event when it's already not a fundraiser.
Years ago, we did not pay the sponsorship.
At all.
We just went ahead and hosted
Yeah.
parties at the house.
One year
And
we put
then went out
footprints
there,
along the sidewalk leading
and
to
led,
Callahan.
yes, led little trails.
Yeah.
We did
And-
flowers in the flower pots
Yeah.
one year.
Yeah. And so that is a solution for future.
Yeah, I sort of
because
feel
if they're
like-
going to continue to, that's that's unreasonable. It's unreasonable, the cost.
Yeah.
Especially
and it
that this
wasn't
is an electronic thing, and
Yeah.
give me a break, really. So I think at this point,
I think we already paid the 300. Like that's already done. I think we should go with what we have, see if it affects our attendance, and then maybe. And if it doesn't, then maybe we don't need to do the booth or the sponsorship in future years. Especially if the booth was more. It's good to direct people over here. And
Well, I think it would be a good
whatnot,
tell all also if you have the booth, but we're not on the map. And then if you
Yeah.
went the next year to neither have the booth or the map,
Yeah.
then you're really seeing
Maybe it
what
doesn't
is
Effective, yeah.
yeah.
And we've got our own blasts that we can send out about
Yeah,
it.
we'll still do all the
That will be
marketing
here.
that we normally do, that we did for Club Affair.
Mhm.
And people have to park all over too. They're not parking on Main Street for this, so there's a chance you get a lot of people that are in that lot that see your
Just for
banners.
traffic. Yeah.
So
On the other hand, I think it's important to be identified on a map that we're here as far as a location along with others. And I think also maybe some sort of a responsibility to our artists to make sure
That too,
that
that's an
people,
issue.
that we do our best
Well,
ability to let the general public know that yes, we are here, yes, they are
I
here.
agree, but the artists aren't paying anything to be part of this.
right.
We are going to do our best marketing, just like we would normally. But to be on the map, we have to pay an extra $200.
I think we'd have to
Which I
charge
don't
your vendors then
think
at
we
that
should do.
point to make that fee.
Yeah,
You're
and
like,
that's
we're
not
gonna be
fair
on
to
the map,
them.
and you
They're
have to
already
pay.
signed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this year, no,
Yeah.
no. But if next
Future.
year you're like, we need the map, we need to charge our artists.
We had talked
$20
about-
a table or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at the end of this year, because we always put out a survey, like asking the question, would you be willing to pay a small table fee next year?
Yeah.
So I think we keep it how it is this year and see if it affects our attendance negatively, and then revisit the whole sponsorship thing in general next year.
Mhm.
That's my thought.
Okay.
Well, I think we do our due diligence to do the best we can to let people know that we are here.
Of course, we'll
And
market
that-
it in
that
all
may
the
be okay.
avenues available to us.
And each one of
as
us
we do with any event.
markets,
Yeah.
just by verbally telling people about
Yeah.
it. And our social.
And we've asked
Media
the
too.
artists themselves in the letter to
Yeah, to
share,
also
the,
share
the,
their
the
networks.
event information with all of their networks.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
Which I'm sure they
we're
want
doing,
to do.
yes, we're
because-
doing everything we can, and yes, at this point, while people pay a fee to be on Main Street, they don't pay here.
Yeah.
But that was something that we've kind of held traditionally to for the sake of this is community outreach, this is support for local artists, this is something that the Callahan House does. We're not charging them. They actually are they're receiving a bit of a gift to be part of the Callahan House Art Walk, day. So I don't know. It's
So
but
what-
yeah, no, I think we're not going to be spending that extra 200 to be put on a map. I don't think that's
Yeah,
necessary.
I agree.
That's fine. So what will we have at the the tent down there that would interest people to stop by as they're strolling, and also to interest them in coming up here.
Yeah, I think our regular marketing materials, patrons, weddings, clubs, private rentals, brochures for historic information, and just sending people over if we don't want to bring any artwork over there, which is a bummer, but if we're going to sell any of it, then why do that?
They sold more here in the house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
We also, I mean, so Unity's coming up at the end of the month, and it's going to be the same type of thing in terms of taking that exact information that I just mentioned over to an event on Main Street and see what kind of interaction we have. We could reevaluate after that. We already paid for a booth this year. I kind of want to. We were always paying for it in the past though, before last year, and didn't realize that like we had it. So. It isn't really any different. Like, we're still paying for the marketing, you know, as a sponsor. But anyway, we can see how Unity goes and evaluate from there in terms of if we want to do the booth for our walk. But feels like we should.
And do you need board members to participate at that booth in Unity, or is it just staff?
Don't. We've got staff set up for that right now. But I didn't mean to derail the conversation, but I just wanted to say that might be an opportunity to evaluate how that exact setup goes and what kind of involvement we get. So.
And you'll be able to check to see where we are located down here.
For Art Walk? Yeah, I don't think they sent that out yet, but it should be coming out soon.
I have a question. I just don't remember. Are we the only off main site?
As far as I know.
There were some like vendors on the offshoots.
Right,
I
right.
don't know if there's like outside of the firehouse. That's also not right on. I'm assuming they're open. I would. That means they're
Yeah.
show.
Well, would it be worth asking them, can you go ahead and include us, you know, at no cost this year as a professional courtesy, given the fact that we're not on the mainstream?
I'm not comfortable doing that. They already, I think if they wanted to offer that, they would have already offered it. They let us know what the situation was, and we're apologetic, and apparently, like I said, it was an oversight for the last couple of years.
That we haven't paid them.
It sounds like it wasn't just us. It sounds, maybe, I don't know. It sounded like they were supposed to be having it set up different. I don't know, but I think if they wanted to offer that, they would have offered that. So.
Yeah, 'cause I think they only had the street blocked off to like Kaufman.
Yeah.
You know, the side, little side streets.
Yeah.
And where,
Okay.
you know, another street.
And then after this, whomever, committee or whomever, we just need to finalize the spot for John.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to ask just real quick is, I don't know how many of these are getting like, because I'm going to take some to Unity and we want some for Art Walk. How many of these are really getting handed out during an event like that? Do you have, since you ran the patrons table for Club Affair, do you have a grasp on that?
Oh, I think
I'm
it was
wondering if I
only
need to-
literally like a handful of people who took those,
Okay. Okay, so I think we're good
Club
for
Affair.
a little
Yeah,
bit,
I
like
think
through
so.
Art Walk, we're
Is
good.
that all we have?
Okay,
Yeah.
this is all we have. So,
I think
okay.
it should be fine.
We're good for a while. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's all for Art Walk then that I've got.
Okay. Right. So we'll learn more about, we'll stay with just the one staff member, but we'll learn more about any potential additional helpers, former board members, if we've got some additional help for the day. I'll get back to you on that. So that's the scoop about Art Walk. And the fall event is the other committee update. We're gonna set our next committee in conjunction with the patrons, Callahan, the committee meeting, so that's that. So at this point, we can move forward into setting committee meetings. I would suggest, I did ask Cindy when she would be available, so that we could make sure we're scheduling to include her. I think.
I also wanted to just mention, if there's any committees that, Angela, you want to be part of, just let us know what you're interested in, if we need to look some different times for those.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, So as early as Thursday the 20th, so that'd be next Thursday from 9 to noon. Or Friday the 21st, 10 to noon. Not particularly good for me, but
Which are we
Which
talking
week?
about?
what I'm just gonna do
Patrons?
is put out some date options, and then I think we do need to talk about what scrapbook is gonna be one of them. Patrons and fall tea is gonna be another one. So I think it's important that we make sure that everyone's available for patrons and fall tea because it does apply to everyone.
I'm out all, like from Wednesday on
And
till
it-
Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
Or I mean, of the
The
24th.
So
August 20th through the 24th, I'm out.
Okay, so the next available day is August 27th, 10 to noon. Is that an okay day for people? And the reason I'm saying this is because it's when I know Cindy said I can be available. So
That's
the
fine.
reason
I just
I'm
want to
throwing
make sure
this
that
out.
we're including anybody that wants to be involved
Yeah,
in committees
yeah.
and can't do those times.
Yeah, so is Thursday the 27th, 10 to noon, okay? And I know that Angela, you're working, and so that definitely
Yeah, I have
makes
a
it more challenging.
big meeting that
I
day.
have not talked about evening committee
Yeah, like
meetings.
she may not have included,
And
gotten
we
availability,
didn't talk,
assuming that we
did not
wouldn't.
talk about that, so,
Are there any that Cindy is chairing or?
she co-chairs Art Walk with me.
Okay, so Art Walk, maybe we schedule around that, and then the others, maybe we schedule with the group here.
Yeah, I'm anticipating we're not going to need a committee meeting for Art Walk. We're
We're good.
We're complete. We're
Okay.
we are.
Oh, the only, well, we can, after we figure out John, but the only other thing is I'll need a final map and then I can make a digital,
Right,
but,
so,
okay.
but,
So
how are we on, everyone
patrons,
else's
fall event,
schedule?
and scrapbook, are those the ones we're looking at?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not available from August 19th through September 3rd.
August 19th through September 3rd, okay.
I think it sounds like, Angela, you're interested in being part of the scrapbook committee?
Yes, I can help number pages for sure.
Okay. So I think we need to set the next committee meeting for that at a time when
Right.
everybody who's interested in working on the labeling project can
And knows how
be
to do it.
involved.
Yeah.
So after September 3rd, it sounds like.
So,
Or
before
before.
the 19th.
Within the next week.
I see within the next
Okay.
couple of days,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then,
But
what
Julie
are
and-
some options then?
There's other people that are
For,
familiar with the labeling as well, though.
Yeah.
That could
I mean,
Well,
I am.
impart that.
what are some options?
I'm for the scrapbook. I'm pretty much available up till the 18th, which is next Tuesday,
Mhm.
and I'd be happy to meet. I mean, in evening hours or something, if that'd be helpful.
So is
At
that?
least as a guide to get Angela
Mhm.
Yeah.
started and understand what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or also could meet during the day too.
So what kind of
Actually do the work.
evening hours are okay for you?
I generally get off work at 5,
Yeah,
so
but,
Like five-
so you're like in
After-
Boulder, right?
after
And
5.
so then you're, okay, so
that's
what,
fine.
generally what time are you available to like be at the house?
If it's after
5:30.
5, we can do it if there's clubs going on, but otherwise we might have to think of some other locations.
So 5:30, clubs are meeting. Well,
Let's see. Let me see if there's a,
Because my PEO is on the 18th here.
yeah,
So
you
that's
could
a
use
club,
the
but
au-
I'm not available, so.
right, the only, yeah, you could use the auto house or the upstairs, I think with that, I know PEO needs
We don't need upstairs.
space, but, you just wouldn't have much, Betsy is also like part of the meeting, so
Yeah.
you have to be quiet and self-sufficient, but,
Yeah, I'm looking at
it
my
would be
work
open
schedule.
at that time.
I'm actually available to meet a little bit earlier on the 18th. I don't have any afternoon meetings,
Mhm.
so I could meet at 4.
I mean, that's fine for me.
4 on the 18th.
Yeah.
Is that okay? 'Cause
Mhm.
I mean, we can still do like a 5:30 or something
Uh,
if you can't leave work early.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So 4 o'clock.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
18th.
And that be here in the house, or
Yeah.
how late can we stay in the house typically?
If you're upstairs, you're good till PO ends at 9,
Yeah,
Oh,
usually
okay.
8:15.
8:15.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
A few hours.
8:30.
So that's okay.
So like 8:30. by the
So I
time
could
it's
participate like for like an hour in the afternoon if we did like
Okay.
and then
at 4 to 5.
just go
But I
into
gotta
your
go
meeting.
home, feed my family, and then come back because I have to be back here at 6.
Uh-huh.
So
Are
do
you
you guys
set?
want to do
That's fine with me.
4 till whenever? And Julie might have to go at
Yes.
some point, but
So Jeff, 4 till when?
I mean, how late can we be here? 4 to 8, 4 to 9, 4 to 8.
I think 8:30. Yeah, 8.
Let's say 8.
I just need basic
for scrapbook.
construction, and then I can take the scrapbooks home.
Yeah, I think this is.
Yeah.
It's more of an informative.
Go
But if
over,
you want to
like,
sit
do
upstairs by
both.
yourself
Yes.
and not go for it.
numbering done over there.
Yeah, I think go through some labeling together and also like, thoughts about what pages need to be like archivally sleeved
Mhm.
and kind of go through those type of
Yeah.
things. And then I don't know if you guys want to work on any alt text or if that's also going to be individual, but
Would it be available by then?
I think it could be, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Unless you want to
I think we
just
could.
focus on the labeling for this. I mean, what?
So it sounds like
See
a
what
2-hour
we're
meeting might be
focusing
sufficient. It'll give you the time to do some instruction and go through some examples, do some archival, and then send people on their way.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
So like 4 to 6?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
That works.
All right.
That's on the
Upstairs?
18th.
And we want to try to have the alt text ready by then.
Yeah, if you can.
If you do, at least we get. Would you be available to explain it?
Yeah, I can meet you guys at 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So then, the other committee meeting we do need to set is, it's patrons and faulty wrapped in one. We do need a 2-hour period of time. And Brittany, we need it to be wrapped around a time that you're available because it's gonna include, information that we're gonna need to talk with you about with respect to a caterer. I mean,
Are we still waiting on this committee to make a final decision for what type of event?
Yeah, and that's gonna be dependent, well, we're leaning more toward a reception, just because we don't want to exclude certain special guests
Okay.
to be invited.
But we should wait till the
But
committee
We
to
need to wait until.
reach out to catering.
that,
Okay,
too.
just want to make sure I'm not
But
missing anything
and
in between.
that goes with the whole, we're doing one last reach out to individuals to include them as patrons. Oh, which,
Okay.
by the way, can you include that letter in the email to the the Callahan House email list? Can you send that letter and form? Since it's an email, it could be a PDF attachment, right?
Again, the PDF has to live somewhere online. But are you just asking that you want like patrons' information sent out to the Callahan email?
Basically,
List.
yeah, basically the same, the letter and the form, if we can send that out to the Callahan House email list too.
We can send it out in the format in which we
Okay.
can.
All
But
right.
yes, I can get that information out to the
Okay.
Callahan list.
Okay, great. All right. So, when are good options that you're available that can work for everyone, and then we're leaning more toward late
What
afternoon
week are you
into
looking at?
evening? Well, that's, I would say probably, I would say it's likely we'll look at the,
Yes.
I know. Yeah. I think we're going to need to look at the first week of September. So after the 3rd though. So actually,
Just keeping in mind that like catering is gonna be booked up. So just
uh-huh.
if we're waiting till then to secure catering, and the event is the first week of October. I'm just
Okay.
putting it out there.
It's not gonna be the first week of October, it's gonna be more toward the end of October, actually, we were leaning that way because of all of the activities that we're all signed up to do, including October 8th video release and October 23rd video release, and then other conflicting activities and events that are going on, so we're gonna lean more toward the end of October
Okay.
as a selection of date, and again, it's reception style, so probably a little easier to handle that, right?
September and October are busy months for catering, it just in general, so
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there, but.
So
we
it's
can also
not
look at
October
November.
4th?
No, that was created at the beginning of the year. Those were potential dates, or as we knew them to be, or as we planned or thought that they would be at the time. But we are changing that, so.
So what date do you have now for the fall
Well,
reception?
I think actually what we're looking more toward I think we're looking more toward the October, it's gonna be a Thursday, so October 29th. So that makes it so that we're not in conflict with other activities, and we're not overloading ourselves in the month of October, especially since we've already got 8th and 23rd. But that's what we're leaning toward. We can't really make that public knowledge, although we just technically have. But it is invitation only. But anyway, so
October 29th is booked
for our who?
for an art class.
Huh? I'm sorry.
For an art class. It's already in the brochure. So we could look at early November. Anyway, we can talk about that, but
Yeah. Okay. We're going to need to. So let's look at, again, back to when can we meet, when you're available, and when Brittany you're available. Say in the next, and Jeff needs to be
is it
available.
the first week of September?
So it would be the first week of September. So,
Meet for, what are we?
it's a 2-hour committee meeting. It's to cover the patrons of the Callahan House and the fall event.
Okay.
So that's,
I'm pretty open the week of the 7th of September.
right, okay. What time is the earliest you could be here?
Labor Day, so Tuesday the 8th.
Okay. So Tuesday, not working for you.
No can do.
Okay. How is Wednesday?
That's a board meeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we do after the board meeting for a little bit? I don't know if you have time
We
for that, though.
can't pinch this. We already got pinched on
Well,
our
I'm just
last
talking
amount of
about,
time for
it doesn't
this.
have to be pinched, because we can go upstairs, but I'm just talking about then, like Angela and I are
Yeah.
available for a little bit, but maybe you can't extend your,
We'd
That's
have to
okay if
power
not.
through
It
your
would be-
meeting.
it's okay if not.
What about the week prior? It seems like this is important, that we need to get something on the
Alright.
calendar for
Jeff,
planning
you come back
purposes.
on the 3rd, is that what you said?
Yes, I'll be available on the 4th.
So Friday the 4th.
Yeah.
I'm not available that day.
Yeah.
I am, if others are.
I'm available.
I can open the
Let me
house,
make
or we
sure I
can
don't
find
have
another
any
place in the
meetings.
city for you to meet or something like that.
Well, on September 4th. But it is going to need your presence, Brittany. This is the
Oh,
whole
sorry,
point
my
of
bad.
it.
Available that day.
The whole
so.
point of that is.
Or, I mean, if there's a time, whatever works, or if we can have a conversation before then, so I can have some idea and impart some knowledge or whatever, but, yeah, I can't do the 4th.
The weekend?
All right.
I know it's the weekend, but can you guys do this?
Sorry. I'm gone that weekend.
So,
I mean,
really
Do
not
I have to
available.
be there? I mean,
We might have to settle for not
I
everybody
don't
being
mind being
available.
meeting with.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that
with
I need
that
to be
present.
in.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
fine.
That's fine, but we might
Yeah.
have to.
Okay. Well, is your concern that we just need to book a caterer?
If we're looking towards maybe more like early November at this point, I think we're doing better. Just September and October are very specifically busy for catering because of weddings. But the 29th isn't available. I don't know if you want to look further, like first week of November, and we probably there's going to be more availability at that point. But
So if we're looking at November 5th, is that an option?
Potentially. We've got a tea that day until 4 o'clock. So potentially, depending on staffing and when we want to set up for an event, and because they were like, depending on when the event is, catering's going to need 2 hours of setup time, probably at least an hour, probably 2 hours. So we couldn't really start setting up until 5, which means the event's at 7. I'm assuming you're wanting to do more of like a happy hour.
A
type
reception.
timing.
We're not going to call it a happy hour.
Fine,
It's
so
a
like happy hour
reception.
type timing.
Evening timing, 5, 7, we have kind of window of time.
So I think that day would be tough. But I think there's a lot to get through here still, and we can talk about timings at the committee meeting, but
I think at this point I'm going to reach out
think we
on
need to-
email so that we can
So
get
it
this
sounds like
set
a
up.
doodle poll out.
Because this
Yeah.
is
Pick the best day.
for us. Okay. All right, we'll move along to the video release. So I'm going to ask that we be really quick with our info because it's now almost 10 after 11. So what kind of update do you have right now?
no different info other than we just need people for the panel. So that was something that we talked about last month, and you guys kind of mull that over for a bit. But for the museum panel specifically, I was thinking it probably would be just board members for that. For the tend panel, I would be involved, and we're also trying to get some like community partners that we've worked with, maybe the folks from the clothing swap or some other just people that we've partnered with, but I'd like to have a board member or two involved in that as well. So that's the main thing that I need right now is people to volunteer to be part of the panels after the videos are shown, and then like a short kind of discussion, sharing information, Q&A type panel, not more than half an hour for each event.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, can you send an email out to everyone and just say if you're interested in doing one or the other or both, please respond. And then that way we'll all be on that same shared email. We'll know, okay, so-and-so's going to do that, I'll do this, maybe we can work together that way.
Cool.
Okay.
Would we be interested in having people that are in the video maybe be on the panel?
Yeah,
I
I was
think she
also
should.
I think it's on my list for tomorrow. I was
Okay.
gonna ask Maureen and Karen Reed, maybe Connie. Yeah, anybody that was in it, sure.
Yeah, that was, that was previously
Huh.
suggested.
I would volunteer also as well.
Okay, thank you.
Either or both.
We've got candy.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I did see that in the Longmont Museum
Mm-hmm.
book, by the way.
Cool.
So
It's in the
Imagine
recreation
yourself.
brochure also.
it's
Well,
in
we're more heavily marketing the Tend one in our stuff, and the museum's more heavily marketing the other one.
Right.
But the Tend release is in the recreation brochure.
and we're
I saw
spending
that.
something on we're spending something on that marketing, are we?
Spending something?
Are we? Is it a cost to us? to
Not
do
the marketing.
for
No.
the Tend?
They are not charging us like a fee to use their space. They're probably just going to charge us a cleaning fee, and then we're going to provide the food and beverage. So that will be our cost, and some staffing cost. But we are asking for it's a free event with a $10 adjusted donation. So we're hoping to maybe at least have a little bit of cost recovery on that event.
And the donation goes to
Us,
okay, not Tend.
no,
Okay. All right.
they're doing us a favor. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Club Affair, Candy, would you like to share the
Well, I'm sure you have the statistics.
I do.
So I'll let you share that.
Okay.
But first, sometimes we don't actually hear anything about the results. And the result of us wanting to do this is to get people to join these groups that we have invited to Club Affair. So I had 2 emails that I wanted to share with you. First of all, Daughters of the American Republic. I belong to that group. And so here was an email that went back and forth between the DAR. I'd like to thank Joy Weigel, Elizabeth Altman, Susan McGannon, and Maggie Jones. They pulled together to represent our DAR chapter at the Club Affair that was held at Callahan House. They had 7 women hand in DAR interest forms. This is the first time we participated, and I would say this is a great success all around. Thank you, ladies, for doing this, and look forward to seeing new faces at our meetings and events. And then the next day, they were already processing one of them. And got someone processed into their group. The other one was from Delta Kappa Gamma. I belong to that group too. And the president was saying, I wanted everyone to know we had a fun time at Callahan House. Many thanks to Candy Shy for situating DKG in the shelter. Well, thank you for doing that. The last time they were not in the shade, and they were appreciative of that shade.
Do they mean Auto House as the shelter? Or just the shade canopy?
The shade.
Okay,
It was a
okay,
shade area. They
okay,
didn't
okay.
have a tent.
Yeah,
And the
gotcha.
year before, they were
Gotcha.
just
Okay,
sweltering,
okay,
so the
okay.
shade were in the shade. Thanks also to Joan Martin, Cheryl Barnett, Laura Lewis, and Kathy Simon for sharing their time and support for several hours. We met some prospective members, one currently working in the district and another Delta Kappa Gamma Hawaii member who recently moved to the area. Others expressed interest, and we'll have to follow up with them. So they also had people that were interested right away that day. So those were just 2 that I knew of. So the reason and the purpose that we started out with years ago of doing this is working. So,
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
Has a survey been prepared for the participants?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. We also put out a survey. So we got 10 responses, so about half people responded to it. 4.5 stars overall for the event. But yeah, people had great things to say. One of the questions that I added this year was about recruitment specifically, like that kind of feedback. Do you feel like it was valuable for you in, connecting with the community, recruiting new members? And we had a lot of good feedback on that. People felt like it was valuable in making those connections. We did get 2 or 3 responses about the entertainment, that it was really cool but made it difficult for them to talk to people and weren't sure how it contributed to the event. So that was some interesting feedback that I didn't expect, that we can mull over for next year. But overall, great feedback. So that's good. We had 450 people total on site. About 370 of those were actual public. The other was the club participants and the performers. First hour was definitely heaviest with 155 the second hour, and 40 people the third hour. So that's good info. 56 emails, which since I've been here, I think that's a record. So that's great also. And then our total gross, net revenue for this event was $548 minus our costs. So that was good. Or that's after our costs. So total net revenue is $548. So cool. That's good.
That's good, yeah.
Numbers are. And I'll just mention this quickly, and we can maybe follow up on it next time. But the library reached out after our event. And we also were in the newspaper on Sunday, so there was a little blurb from the Times call about the event, so that's good.
Oh yeah, that too. We ended up in the paper.
Yeah, I got
Front
a
page.
copy of it for the scrapbooks. But the library reached out because they, I guess, have been interested in putting on an event like this for some time, and they've been trying to figure out how to organize it and when. And they saw that we did club affairs, so they were wondering if we want to potentially partner on a similar event in April, or if we were to continue on doing our summer event and they did their spring event, if there's any knowledge that we could impart, or if we thought that would be competitive or overkill in any way. So something to think about. I also mentioned that we do our spring open house in April and that we get about 100 visitors to that, so I didn't know if April was like a great time for us. I don't know. I feel like we probably should continue on with what we're doing and see if they want to partner with us, but it's something to mull over and think about for next time, I guess. I also let them know that we're planning this as like a biannual event, so I don't know if anybody has any immediate thoughts on that, but
I wouldn't be opposed to it being an annual event. I mean, people were asking, are you going to do this again next year?
Well, that's what we have to decide, whether we want to do this every year. I think moving our open house, moving it to the open house
In
in
conjunction
July,
with
I think
the
that
open
was a
house
good
event.
move.
Yeah.
I really do.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we're having an open house anyway.
Yeah.
So something we
Something
need
to
to
talk about.
probably
Your
look at.
Pros and cons, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, anyway, we can revisit that next month, but they had reached out about that, so I just wanted to share that with you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool.
We did have some people stop at the patrons and, well, the Callahan House Advisory Board table. And so I've got 10 people who has signed up to help volunteer with projects, tasks, or activities, and one of which might be interested in serving on the board. And so, yeah, the information that I'm learning though is that their availability is a bit limited. And so it will kind of depend on, you know, whatever we're trying to do. It may apply to some of the individuals and not to others. Work schedules, they don't want it, they're not interested in weekends, that kind of stuff. So, but that's another positive thing that came out of. So that
That's good.
outreach to
Yeah.
the community to include them in volunteering with us.
Yeah. And then, depending on, you know, if anybody follows up with you or not, I just wanna make sure we're kind of within the city parameters for any, like, long-term volunteerism that we might do, so
Yeah.
before we communicate anything to anybody, just,
No. Yeah.
yeah, reach out.
Yeah. This is more. Yes, we will do. So does that cover the wrap up for Club Affair?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
All right. Board member binders process. I've described this last month. Just the 1-inch binders being the 1 through 31 tabs as a reference binder, and then the 2-inch binder is the monthly board packets being January through December tabs. And what we need to maybe just touch base with about real quick is that sometimes some information is not available at the beginning of the year when at the beginning of service of a new board member. So we don't have that in the 1-inch binder, the reference binder. And so when we're requesting and needing that update, then it will be helpful to have, and I understand the reason to consolidate, put them all on one page here, but it would be helpful to have, so for example, the appropriation schedule, just it alone printed on one page. And I know that that's outside of packet stuff, but the purpose of the ask is, yes, we're needing these things to be added to the reference binder. We need them full size because they have a tab that they belong in. Whereas this, we can't.
Well, the information and why this was requested wasn't provided to me.
Okay.
So even when I asked,
so it's-
if you need stuff for the binder, I'm happy to print things for you for the binder, but it was requested to be put into the packet.
Yeah, because
So,
it's an
unclear
agenda
on
item.
why.
Because since we have the board members binder process as an agenda item, I thought, okay, yeah, we'll need to be able to show, for example, the appropriation schedule. That's one thing that
But
we may
I
or may
wasn't
not
made
have.
aware that these were related specifically to that agenda item, so that's why they're how
Okay.
they are. But if you
Okay.
need them printed differently for packets,
It
can
will, yes.
request any of that at any time, and I can print them
We'll
for
do
that
that.
purpose.
We'll do that. We'll do that then. So, but that was the reason for that. Because on here it just, it's illegible.
Well, again, I wasn't made clear why
But it's
it
okay.
was needed or how it pertained to the agenda, so that's what you got.
Okay. Anyway, so I think that we've addressed our board member binders process. Am I right?
Yeah, the only thing I wondered outstanding was moving, like how to proceed with that process for next year, because it, you know, you added a piece to it, and so if the chair next year, since you can't be with us, is going to continue to do that, or, so we can,
That'll be
we have
interesting.
time to revisit that
Yeah.
later, but
Yeah,
that
it
is,
no longer needs to
that
be
is,
an agenda item. So,
well,
I think we're unless we
I
need
still
to.
need clarity on how
Okay.
we're gonna move forward with
So
this
then-
process, so we can revisit it next month since
so
we're
that if
running out of time.
We
but-
really don't have time. We don't have time to do this in a board meeting. So if we really need to hash through it, needs to be done in a committee meeting.
Okay, then we can
So-
set a committee meeting next month.
Okay. So at this time it is 11:20, and we have new business and items from staff and items from the board. How are we doing on time? Would it be acceptable to extend our time, or are we running tight on time this morning?
I am running tight on time.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So what I might suggest is at this point, I'm going to say, well, let's table our new business, both items, and until next month. We'll table the item from staff manager report till next month. I think the one thing I was just going to ask you about, because it falls in this month, is the Unity and Community, and I think that you've explained that you're going to have a table. It's you and one other staff member, and I don't know what materials you plan to take. So I guess I might ask if you can just clarify what materials are you planning to have at the table for that event?
All of the ones that I listed that we talked about having for Art Block.
Okay. So no patrons.
Yes, patrons was the
you'll
first.
Have, you'll have
thing
so
that
you'll
was
have
listed.
patrons.
So
You'll have
patrons, wedding rentals, private rentals, clubs, board involvement,
Okay.
everything, community
And-
programs, everything that we do here
And
will be at that table.
and in additional, just community volunteers. So if anyone's interested in the community, interested in volunteering, that's
Yeah, I
that
think we'll
one more
focus
piece.
on board volunteerism for now, but that other volunteer opportunities, are coming. I think, the city has a specific process about volunteers, so we need to figure out. It can't just be like a open-ended type thing, but yes, volunteerism in general. More information TBD.
Right, but if someone comes to you and says, "Oh, can I look into volunteering?" then you're going to gather that
Collect their
Okay.
information. Yeah.
All right. So, and then what I will suggest we do is just let's wrap up with the, unless there's any other item from staff that's urgent that we need to talk about now.
Well, I just want to, yes or no, are there questions about the manager's report
Yes.
that we need to go through?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And
we'll
then
do
the other
that.
item that we did need to talk about, and we can make a decision next month, but I do need to bring it up now, is we'd like to consider moving the board meeting time starting in January to allow the recruitment starts for next year. It starts in October. So I think we need to talk about moving the board meeting time at a time when more people can be involved to help hopefully get some more recruitment for 2027. So we can make a decision on that next month, but I want to post that now and then it can be moved to new business. But considering changing the meeting time for January to allow more people to be interested in serving on this board. And then if in January that doesn't, it's not necessary based on our current members, we can always move it back. But I think recruitment's coming up in October, and even if we can put some information out there that the meeting time is flexible, I don't know that really
Lands.
totally lands with people. So I think we just need to consider moving it to a late afternoon, evening time, so that information reflects for recruitment in October, starting in January. And then in January we can revisit whether or not that is appropriate, but I think that will help with getting more people involved for next year.
Do we need to state a meeting time in the advertisement for?
It's in the
board meeting
information
meetings,
So
for,
we'll see. Okay.
yeah. So something to mull over, but I think for September, we need to have a decision about when we want that to be so that it's available for October recruitment.
Based on your club calendar, though, you already have a date in mind?
I
That will
I
work.
wanted to, it'll have to be around evening clubs, but there's not too many of those, but, so think about that, if that means 4:30, 5:30, what days of the week people are available. And again, we don't have to start that necessarily until January, but I just want that information to be out there so that when people are applying for the board for next year, they know what that could look like, because
Yeah.
I
We
think
might actually-
it may help us hopefully get some new people.
We might actually be able to give that a test run. We'll talk about it next month, but we're going to be removing that November meeting date because of the conflict.
Good,
So,
good point.
so maybe we can work at a evening board meeting for the November.
Sure.
So we'll keep that in mind and we'll readdress it next month. So then the last bit is an item from board. So I wanted to share with everyone that Angela and I attended the July 17th before business hours event for the Chamber of Commerce. And Cindy, Jeff, and I attended the July 23rd after business hours event. I do think it would be helpful for board members and Brittany to attend other events prior to September 15th to encourage attendees to read the e-newsletter that's coming out with our advertisement about the patrons program. And so if you could check with Kat to see what's available. She quickly set a few dates that were coming up at the last event, but I didn't get to take note of that. So if we can learn about what's coming up, that would be helpful. It's an easy, just go meet people, say hello, ask them about what they do, and share with them that you're a volunteer and this is what you do, and that oh, by the way, check the e-newsletter that's coming out and from the chamber and if we can know when the publication date would be, that would be helpful. So and then just going forward, I think it's a good idea for Brittany. I think it's to you, or I don't know if it would be anyone else, but since you're house manager, for purposes of explaining, to fellow businessmen and women in the community what the Callahan House is, who we are, what we do, what's available. It's a great extra way for a reach out to share the information about the house, how it's available to businesses, how it's available to individuals. Just, it's a good opportunity to network that way for marketing purposes.
Yeah, I mean, we use the chamber for our marketing now, and the city is part of that, so we could share some information that way.
Yeah, but going to those events are, it's really hard to get into too much detail because everyone's just kind of buzzing about, I think we kind of all felt that way. It was just like, well, so I think that the one anchor that I held on to was at the first one I was telling everyone, hey, come to Club Affair this Saturday, and so but I was pointing them to something and giving them a little snippet of information, and like between now and September 15th, it would be hey, check the e-newsletter that's coming out on whenever the chamber's going to post our ad in the newsletter, and it's just one little other way to connect with them in a very short, quick conversation, because there's not a whole lot of time to get into too much detail. So, everything else in future agenda items stays on, and at this point, it's 11:28. I move we adjourn. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Are we all in favor? Yes, we are. Great.